G'day folks, just got a redo of a video that I did for Yakfish West a couple of years ago. Quality's not great, it was shot on my mobile phone, but the info's all still relevant, and since I'm sitting at home with asymptomatic COVID, can't get out and get any more footage, thought I'd revamp this one for you and put it out there. Check it out. Yes, gotcha! Happy Yeti! G'day Yakfishers, welcome to Workshop Wednesday. Tackle Talk, we're back to talking about different styles of fishing. This week we're talking stick baits. I got into stick baits through the old whiting craze, so I started with little bubbies, but I've gotten a lot better at it and started using them. Love using stick baits, they're great lures, great way to fish. So this week I'm going to run you through a few of my favourites. So without further ado, let's get to it. I started with these guys. These are Berkeley Subdogs. Oh, they're the wrong way around, but that's alright. You can still see them. Little sinking stick bait, excellent for whiting. Obviously that guy there is probably my favourite colour. It's called Mongrel. It's a browny orange. But not just for small fish. This guy here, I caught my PB mangrove jack on at 42 centimetres. So tiny little lure, excellent. Still catch big fish on them. Good for bream and that as well. Next up, onto floating. These guys here are these are actually a copy. They look like a Bass Day sugar pen. These ones here are made by one of our local tackle manufacturers under their own branding. Still a good lure, still do the job. Great floating stick bait, good zigzag action. Up to the next size, that's the 70mm. Only warning with those, if you do buy the non-genuine ones. I hooked a big golden on one of these at Wilderness, fought it for 5-10 minutes, broke it off, brought it back, and the entire back end of the lure was gone. It had just pulled the hooks out. It happens when you buy non-genuines, so be warned. Next up, slow runs or storm sinking pencil. These are the go-to at Wilderness Island. Everybody's chasing them. These guys all have teeth marks in them. Each of those colours work really well. This one, I don't know if you can see, has a lot of scratches. That's been eaten a lot of times. Thing with those, change the hooks out. The stock hooks, not so good. The trebles, they'll straighten, so swap them out. And as you can see, keep the hooks pointed opposite directions. So when that hook swings back, you've still got the point pointing out. The slow runs have an excellent swimming action. Even just slow rolled, they have a massive amount of action, so great little lures. Again, back to surface, so slow runs are sinking. Back to surface, Cultiva or Owner Tango Dancers, 110, 95, really different profile. I'm not sure if they've changed the design since I bought this one. I've had it for quite a few years. That's caught big queenies. Got a good photo of that hanging out of the mouth of a very big queenie. Excellent surface stick baits. They sort of swim like a potty mullet, so they'll sit with their head up and pop along the surface. So obviously excellent up north. Not just up north though. If it works on queenies and trevally, it's going to work in the southern half of the state on your tailor and salmon and everything else you throw them at down here. I've got the big old Halco Sly Dog. I haven't thrown him at anything yet, but I'm looking forward to doing it. Hoping to nail some Sambos and stuff around the metro area on that. Couple of others that I don't have on me. One of them, the Monsoon Breaker by Stickbaits. I only cast it half a dozen times. I hooked that very big mackie. It's a really thin profile, very heavy, so it casts a long way and it sinks fast. So it's good if the fish are sitting deep, you can drop it right down deep and then work it back up. That's what I did. Caught a big mackerel. Can't say much else. Only cast it 4 times. Gladiator Shivers by CID. They're heavy again, and they sink with like a shimmy, so they sort of wobble as they sink. So really good. So that's a few of my favourites. Tune in next week and we shall talk tactics and how to fish them. G'day yak fishers, welcome to Workshop Wednesday, Stickbaits Part 2. So techniques, basically 2 aims I work for with stickbaits. We're looking for either a big zigzag action like this, side to side, or we're looking for a head bob. What will get that happening for you depends on your frequency and on the strength of your twitch. So with your small ones, like your sub dogs and that sort of thing, it's a really high, really fast rod twitch to get them working. And then with the bigger ones, it tends to be a bit slower and a bit more work to get that big zigzag action. I'm just going to demo some stuff with the rod, so hopefully you'll be able to see the stickbait working. Running the Cultiva Tango Dancer, nice and floating, so hopefully you'll be able to see it. So with things like sub dogs, it's really high, really quick twitch like this, which as you can see, hopefully, is getting this lure to work side to side. It's actually working quite well for the size of this lure, so that's good. So that's the most basic. And then if that's not working for you, then you can go into bigger twitches, slower twitches, wind faster. See how that, there we go. And then of course, going on from there, especially with your sinking stick baits, you can get a sweep, big sweeping rip going in them. Doesn't work so well with the surface ones, they tend to just bounce over and not do much. So that rod tip sweep, and then as you pick up the slack, your lure's pausing and sinking. Which of course then brings us to the pause. Most people know pause lures works perfectly well with both floating and sinking stick baits. Other thing is this one here, individual quick twitches, just maintaining a constant reel turn, big twitches. Yeah, that about covers it in a very, very quick version. So I think my primary technique is this one, a moderate speed retrieve and just big fast twitches, getting that lure doing big side to side head shakes. And then from time to time pausing. That's about it. Alright, see you next Wednesday.